Everyone's wondering where I've been for the last few days and why I didn't do my post-game shows for the last two Premier League games. Well, I've been here. But anyway, we're now back to normal service.
Hello everyone. Long time no see. And if you're wondering where I've been, let me just say now, I'm not dead, I haven't been fired, and no, I've not stopped doing this channel. I'm back right now, and that's where I was been. Very pretty, isn't it? Well, let me explain where I've been. I've been to the Rocky Mountains for a few days for a post-Christmas vacation. Did a bit of skiing, bit of hiking, and taking in what nature has to offer. As you can see, it's very pretty, although it's very cold. It's about -14 outside right now, and it gets cold in Canada at this time of year. Back home right now, normal service is resumed from the Anvil's YouTube channel. I would have done my post-game shows for Brighton and Southampton, but obviously I was with my family, I couldn't do them. Let me just go over that very quickly right now, just to fill a bit of the gap. The Brighton game was one of those games which, on paper, we should have been winning, because they're down at the bottom of the table, hadn't won a hell of a lot of games this season, and were fighting in a relegation battle. It's that kind of game where Glenn Murray usually scores and has his masterclass against us, but, oh wait, he doesn't play for them anymore. We still managed to find a way to screw it up a little bit though, because 2-2, Mark Noble playing as an attacking midfielder and all of our attacking options on the bench, and going with 8 defensive players against Brighton, it seemed like Moyes had come back from the dinosaur age yet again. But he managed to change that against Southampton, although he did start a few problems when he announced that team lineup, because everybody was going, oh, Dawson's in the lineup, why is Craig Dawson starting? He did a solid job from what I've heard, and I've seen the highlights of both games. Craig Dawson did a really good job and filled in nicely for Issa Diop in Southampton's game. And not only that, he kicked Che Adams way out of the stadium off to Southampton waterfront. So yeah, we're back to normal service. Let's get all the frames and all the graphics set up again, and I'm going to do my pre-game show for the Everton game on New Year's Day. Disclaimer, this is before any possible cancellations are announced. There is a chance that the New Year's Day game may not go ahead due to the new outbreak of coronavirus in the UK. So I'm only making this video because if it does go ahead, I still need to do the opposition uncovered for it. Well, what can I say about Everton to start off with? They've gone from being relegation fodder to being European contenders because of 2 main reasons. Carlo Ancelotti and a board that actually cares. And when Carlo Ancelotti was appointed as the manager of Everton, I was damn right jealous, because it was around the time that Manuel Pellegrini got sacked at West Ham and Moyes came back. And I was looking at the time and saying, look what Everton have done. They've got rid of Marco Silva, and they've got in a manager who is ambitious, who is a European competent head coach, and has been one of the best managers in the last 20 odd years. Look at all the silverware he's won at wherever he's been at. The thing with Everton this season is that they really have had the manager go and get the players that he needs to suit his style and suit his successful kind of football. And hey ho, they did it. They signed Alan from Napoli, who is arguably one of the best defensive midfielders in Europe. And they made the big signing of James Rodriguez from Real Madrid. What gets me about this signing is, one, that's a club that definitely has ambition. I'll say that time and time again. That's a massive signing for them. And never in a million years would you have ever thought that James would have gone to Everton, because he would have gone to a bigger club like Manchester United and Liverpool, or maybe PSG. That's not disrespect to Everton, that's just how it was if you'd have seen that 5 years ago. And he didn't even cost them anything. I've checked this. He didn't cost them anything. He was a free transfer. Everton started off the season in fantastic form. They won the first opening games and won 4 in a row and were top of the table at one point. Carlo Ancelotti won Manager of the Month. And then there was a little bit of a dip in form where they had 3 straight losses, but they picked things up again. And as it stands right now, they've won the last 4 in a row. And in 3 of those 4 games, they've kept a clean sheet. The last time we met Everton at Goodison Park was in October 2019. Going into this game, Everton were one of our bogey teams. They kind of always have been, and I'll get onto that in a little bit. But the thing was then, Marco Silva had to win that game for Everton, otherwise he would have been sat there and then, because of the losing streak they were on, and the fact that they were near the relegation zone. Everton won it. Bernard scored in the first half and then Gylfi Sigurdsson scored in second half stoppage time. Finished 2-0 to Everton and Marcus Silva managed to keep his job for at least another few months. Because they picked up a little bit, but then he got sacked and Ancelotti came in and the rest, as they say, is history. Ancelotti's got his success at many clubs across Europe because of the kind of style of play he has. Attacking, attractive football, with strikers who score aplenty, midfielders who assist strikers, and wingers who can attack down the left and get past the centre-backs and full-backs with ease. That's the kind of system he's got in place now at Everton. They've been attacking a lot more, scoring a lot more as a result, and that's where their points have come from. One player in particular who's been scoring a lot right now is striker Dominic Calvert-Lewin, South Yorkshire lad who has really stepped up his game at Everton and has rightly earned a starting place in Ancelotti's 11. Start of the season was fantastic for DCL because he had 6 goals in 4 games and that included a hat-trick against West Brom, and he won Player of the Month for September 2020. DCL is right now making a real big claim to win the Premier League Golden Boot, 11 goals in 15 games, and he's within the top 5 of scorers so far this season. I like him as a player as well. I think he's got a bright future with the England team, bright future at Everton, and I heard a rumour a few months ago that Manchester United wanted to bid for him because of how well he was doing at the start of this season. James Rodriguez has been one of those players that was tipped for great success at Everton, and he has done that. He's been exactly what they needed in terms of their midfield. He has turned that team around for the better, and he has been injured as well. And unfortunately, with him being sidelined, it meant that another player had to come in his place. But a competent replacement at the same time, which was Icelandic midfielder Gylfi Sigurdsson, a one-time club record signing for Everton, who has a bit of a knack for scoring against West Ham at Goodison Park. He did it in 2018, he did it in 2019, let's hope he doesn't do it in 2020. He's been filling the gap pretty well in the absence of James. He scored the winning goals against Chelsea and Sheffield United recently. And he's a midfielder that's risen up from the Championship and has now got a good place at Everton. Although he's had to settle for second best right now because of James, he's done well for himself at Everton and he's a very good backup option, like I say. This season, Everton got their own little clique together of Brazilian players. Bernard, Allen, and a person who's going to top that all off, because of that celebration, that's your clue, Richarlison. Richarlison is a rising star in Brazil's national team. He's 23 years old and he's kind of the face of the new Brazil team, along with players like Gabriel Jesus and players such as Vinicius, who are coming into Brazil's national team, younger, fresher, hungrier, and are giving the team a real chance of winning the World Cup. At Everton, though, that's where he's made his claim for the Brazil national team. After an impressive 2018-2019 season, he got his dream call up to the Brazil national team where he won the Copa America and scored in the Copa America final. And since then, all eyes have been on him. A lot of people back in Brazil love Richarlison. A lot of Evertonians love Richarlison. Unfortunately for West Ham, he's fit for the game on New Year's Day. So he could be playing. And hopefully not score against us. That's not a criticism of him, because he's a great player, and I do like Richarlison, especially because of all of his celebrations like that and the pigeon, but he is a good player. Look, that's all I'm going to say. He's a good striker, and he's a player who was doubted a bit at Watford, but he's really found his home at Everton, and his dreams have become a reality there. International call-ups, international goals. How could I not say Slaven Bilic for the player who played for both? That'd just be total disrespect to that man. Look at everything he did for West Ham as a player and a manager, and don't forget the short term that he had when he was at Everton. Slaven joined West Ham in 1996 from German side Karlsruhe, played 48 games for the Hammers and scored twice in the Premier League. He left West Ham in 1997, went to Everton for 2 years, and then after that he went back to his native Croatia where he retired as a player. Managed his hometown Hajduk Split, the Croatia under-21 team and the Croatia national team. He was in charge when Croatia beat England 3-2 to go to Euro 2008 and get Steve McLaren sacked. After he left Croatia in 2012, he went to Russia for a little bit to manage Lokomotiv Moscow, managed Besiktas in the Turkish Super League. Then in 2015, he came home to where he belonged. He came back to West Ham as manager. Unforgettable 2015-16 farewell bowling season with Payet, Ogbonna, Lanzini, and all those kind of players. After that, he struggled a lot. In November 2017, he was sacked, and he was very hurt by that. He had a little brief spell managing in Saudi Arabia and then came back to England to manage West Bromwich Albion, who were a championship team. Got West Brom promoted to the Premier League this year. Struggles in the Premier League continued. West Brom were in the relegation zone, and despite a 1-1 draw with Manchester City, you could argue that Bilic was again cruelly sacked. And it's very unfortunate that that's happened to two teams that he's loved. But the way he's gone about it and the class that he's shown in his sackings, it shows how lovely of a person he is. Everton and Manchester City, that game got postponed because of a coronavirus outbreak. And that's allowed Harmes and Richarlison to get fully fit in time to face West Ham. I'm a little sceptical about this game, in all honesty. I'm going to have to say an Everton win. I think they're going to beat us 2 or 3-0 if we don't tighten up. Because Everton are no mugs. They've been a bogey team to us. Remember Lukaku scoring against us all the time? That's what it's going to be like, I think. Again, but with probably Guilty Sigurdsson or DCL. They're a team that we don't do very well against in general. But hey, let's try and end that. Hope you enjoyed seeing me on your screens again. I know it's been a while, but hey ho, I'm back. If you liked the video, you know what to do. Hit the like button and subscribe for more content. I will be doing the post-game show from the Everton game if it goes ahead. Fingers crossed it does. And normal services resuming. I'd also like to say Happy New Year to everybody out there in the football world, and to West Ham fans too. Hope you have a better 2021, because I know 2020 has been very bad for a lot of people. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Don't get too carried away with the New Year's celebrations. I'll see you all soon. See you next year.